Okay, hello, welcome to the weather update. It's a little after 9:30. It is May 21st, 2023, and a lot of clouds around today. And then you can see, look at all that smoke that's going to be moving in tonight and tomorrow. We're going to have to look at some, we're going to look at it. It's going to be bad. It's going to be really bad. So, get ready for it. You can see all that smoke. That's pretty thick right there that we got heading our way. Of course, before I get to that, let's talk about yesterday's rainfall events. Rainfall reports from Saturday here, and we'll go over them for you here. We have you can see some areas in Connecticut got over 3 inches of rain, like Shelton, Trumbull. It's almost 3 inches there. So yeah, it seems to be really hard hit there. Fairfield County, coastal Connecticut, a lot of rain there. Also in New Haven as well. I had a feeling we would overperform. Coastal Connecticut seems to have gotten quite a bit there, 308 inches, over 3 inches at Seymour and Hamden. So, yeah, a lot of high rainfall amounts there. Pawcatuck in New London County, 2.68. New Jersey, nothing notable in northern New Jersey. Brooklyn, Sheepshead Bay, 1.57. As you get to Long Island, this is where we get the higher amounts again. Levittown, 2.49. Valley Stream, 2.44. Hicksville, 2.11. North Massapequa, 2.08. Levittown. So most areas now still getting over 2 inches of rain. Syosset, 2 inches of rain. And, just about. Though some of the areas, some of these got a little less, but that's quite a bit of rain. You can see Central Park, nothing notable there, only 0.79. Orange, Putnam, nothing notable there. But again, as you go out to Long Island, this is where the higher amounts are. Queens, Ozone Park, 1.81 inches. Belrose, 1.78 inches. Little Neck, 1.77 inches. JFK at 1.65. Staten Island, again, not that much. Suffolk County, again, we have high amounts. Montauk Airport, 2.80 inches. 2.74 at Dix Hills. Blue Point, 2.69. Most of these higher numbers are in western and central Suffolk County. St. James, 2.23. Centerport, 2 inches. Farmville, 1.98. Center Reach, 1.83. Islip Airport, 1.67. And let's see if we have anything for the Pine Barrens area. Ridge, only 1.13. So this is the Pine Barrens got a little less. Upton, 1.11. But that's still substantial. That's still a good amount of rainfall for that area. So very, very good amount of rainfall for that area. And it's good to see. I like seeing that. Let's go. And Philadelphia is not going to have, no. Not going to have. We can go to the map. We can look at the map and get some of the numbers for the Philadelphia's range there. So let's go to the MODIS satellite so we can look at what's going on with the smoke. And you can see here it's pretty much all flowing in. You can clearly see here. You got all the smoke here. I don't see any big plumes, so maybe things are a little raging a little less here. But there's a lot of smoke. You may just not be able to see it, but you can see. Look at all the smoke here. That we have over Canada that is stretching into the United States here on this MODIS satellite. So this is all heading our way. This is like a really thick pall of smoke here that's heading our way. You can see it making its way over the Great Lakes, the Dakotas, and not all this is aloft. Some of it might be at the surface too. So let's go to some more satellite imagery, and we'll go and we'll look at the North American. We'll look at the Canada, northern U.S. mode here. So this will kind of show you, again, the smoke here. I mean, it's very thick. I mean, this is a lot of smoke here. A lot of smoke that you see right here. So, yeah, a lot of smoke. A lot of smoke. That's a lot of smoke right there. Though, like I said, I don't see any big plumes now, so maybe it looks like there is some moisture trying to make its way into British Columbia, which is good, as well as into Washington. So maybe we can get some rain over there, perhaps, into this area here. Will it make it up to Saskatchewan and northern Alberta? That is the question. Let's get the latest on these fires. We'll just look up Canada wildfires again. If I could type it. So let's see. Mostly articles on the smoke. Canadian Armageddon sets reports. So it's still wildfire show. No, that's from 2 days ago, though. I'm trying to see anything new as far as from CBC, which, this is all 4 hours ago. Alberta will hope rain cooling bring relief. So there is some rain and cooling for the coming week that will hopefully help. Rainy forecast to help subdue Alberta wildfire. So it looks like there will be some hope on the horizon, it looks like. As we were looking at this when we were looking at the weather earlier this week, that it looked like there would be some rain in there, and that would help at least alleviate the smoke issues. And if we go and we look at that area, just the southeastern Alaska view right here, you'll see clouds that are over these fires. So hopefully there is some rain falling here, and some of these look like some thunderstorms with heavy rain. Hopefully there's heavy rain in them, because if it's a thunderstorm and it doesn't produce much rain, it could actually wind up starting new fires. But it looks like there is some moisture coming in, so that's some good news right there for them. We definitely need that, because it's been, this heat ridge has just been atrocious. But before, any kind of relief happens, we're still going to have to deal with the smoke that's come from all these fires that's going to be drifting over the United States. So let's go to the RAP model, which I didn't put up here, but we'll do that. Go to the RAP model here. Put this up here. It's not the right thing. And we'll run the loop here, and you'll see that a lot of this smoke's going to be heading our way, and you can see it's going to be pretty thick. This is coming up the next couple of days. You see it's tomorrow. We're going to be socked in with a lot of this smoke. And if we could get into this area here, but I don't think we're going to. So we're going to have all this smoke that's going to be, again, with us for much of this week, much of this upcoming week. So looking at the weather map right now, you can see we have a little trough over us, which kept some clouds, high pressure and control, a little weak front to the north there. We move this into tomorrow. You can see that weak front kind of moves to the south here, and it's actually bringing some, oddly enough, some rain chances with it, which looks a little different than then. Just slight, mainly off to the west. You can see it almost looks like a backdoor front that might be trying to make its way through. So let's show you what it would look like today outside. And there's a little bit of blue sky, a little bit of haze there, but you can see a little bit of blue sky there. And then towards sunset, you can see the sun was still shining pretty bright about a half hour before sunset. But then as the sun sunk lower on the horizon, you can clearly see that smoke off to the north and the west that's going to be moving in, and you can really see it here in this picture here. So definitely some thick smoke that's going to be with us, I think, tomorrow. And into possibly the next day, though. Again, we don't really have that far enough out for it to take us. Looking at the radar here, not much activity going on here. But you'll see out west, there are some thunderstorms here in Oregon. Some of these are actually severe, believe it or not. Oregon, Washington, parts of Idaho, and you can see, look, rain in Alberta. It needs to get up here. Those is where the fires are. If we can get some of this rain over here, that can help put out the fires. Because the only way these fires are going to get under control is a good rain. It's too remote for firefighters to get to put it out. These are very remote areas. And when you have such big fires, they're often just left to burn until the rain can put them out. So hopefully we do get some rain up there, and we're going to look at that. So as far as our area goes, we're dry today. Looking at going back to this map here, you can see we got air quality alerts in effect for some states due to the smoke, like Montana, and this is that severe thunderstorm watch that's in effect for very unusual to see. We have one severe thunderstorm warning there. Oddly enough, a severe thunderstorm warning in extreme northwestern Oklahoma. Other than that, it's mainly air quality alerts. So let's go look at our temperatures across the area today, and you can see it's definitely a seasonal day, I think, today. We had 61 at Islip right now. Dew points aren't that low. It's not, like I said, this air ain't bone dry. But you can see we got up into the around 70 degrees, so fairly close to normal today. And there was some breaks in the clouds here and there. But there were quite a few clouds around today. One thing I noticed. So let's go look at, first of all, let's go and look at the country here. And then we'll go back to our area here and just show you what's going on across the country with temperatures. If we can do that. If we can do that. That's too much work for this, huh? Yeah, I might have just broken it. Well, you'll see here Fort Vermilion, Alberta, 76 degrees. It says up there, so I'm trying to get some observations here for that. It's just giving us a hard time. I want to see what's going on up there because that's where the heat is concentrated in the west. You can see behind this front, it's much cooler air coming in, cooler moisture air off the Pacific, which is what they need. And if that can make it into these areas, you can see much of British Columbia has dropped into the 50s, and it's more moist as well. So if you look at these observations here, dew point 45, that's still kind of low, but the dew points are still kind of low, but they're better than they have been, and even it's cooled down even up here in Northwest Territories, 57 degrees. We still have some warmth in parts of Alberta, like Fort Vermilion, 77 degrees. So still very warm in parts of it, but the warmth is eventually, this big ridge in the west is getting squeezed down a little bit. So going back to our area, let's look at our highs today. And here are our highs. Low 70s, pretty much low 70s on Long Island. The city, low 70s, maybe like mid 70s in Jersey. Looking at the lows. Lows in the mid 50s. Wasn't that cool this morning. So mid 50s. It's probably close to normal, maybe slightly above because of the elevated low temperatures. Now let's go to the precipitation, and we'll just pick the 72-hour precipitation. The highest it'll go, so we'll get a map of all the rainfall totals. You can clearly see where the higher rainfall totals were. Again, Jersey not getting that much. Long Island getting more. Clearly see that western Suffolk area seems to have gotten a lot more. But still a fairly healthy amount of rain everywhere. And even to the west here, even in Jersey, they got almost an inch of rain. So it was a good rainfall across the area, and we definitely did need it for sure. So let's go to the climate report for today. And climate report. All right. So islip, right around normal. Only slightly 2 degrees above normal. So fairly close to normal today, temperature-wise. Go to the Storm Prediction Center next, I guess. Do that. And, yeah, there's that slight risk. Again, that very unusual to see that in that area. We move on to tomorrow, and we see that slight risk for severe weather in usual area. Northern Texas, it's a slight, nothing terrible. So we go to the models next. All right. So North American view here, and we'll start with the GFS here. So we're going to see some changes in the weather coming after this week. So you see that crazy ridge starts to break down. You start seeing some troughing in the Pacific Northwest. That'll bring cooler, wetter weather, and hopefully get these fires under control, at least for the time being. You will notice, though, that the jet stream is very disorganized here as we head into the Memorial Day weekend. We have like a cutoff low over the northeast. Very disorganized-looking jet stream, I might add. Very disorganized. But you can see, look, as we get toward the end of the period here, we're starting to see that ridge once again build in the west again. So the respite from this heat may be brief, and then more troughing in the east again as we get toward June. See, kind of a weird-looking jet stream for sure. Let's go look at the European model. See if there are any differences here. We'll look at the European model here. So this is the European model, and you can see pretty much agree, but there's a disagreement toward the weekend. And the European wants to have a low that's literally going to sit over us and ruin the whole holiday weekend. The GFS does not have that feature. Looking at the upper air, 500 height anomaly here. You'll see that heat ridge break down a little bit in the west there. And then this is the European having that cutoff right there, all right? The GFS, I don't think, has it. So if you look at the GFS here, you'll see GFS is a little different looking. It does have a low, but it's all the way over the southeast. So it would keep us dry until probably the last couple of days of May, when we could have a chance of rain, and then another trough behind that. And then the GFS builds that heat ridge back again, all right? So let's go to the temperature anomaly chart here. We're going to keep it on this, all right? because you can see here how hot it is in that northwest area in that western Canada. So it starts to cool down a little bit. You see that, all right? And then we stay still below normal in the east. This week might still wind up being a little below normal, actually. Get toward Thursday, quite below normal. And you're still above normal in the west. You are still above normal in the west. But then you can see as we get toward the end of the period, look what happens. That heat dome builds right back again over the same areas that it was before. So there could still be more fires. It's the season's just getting started, with this. Let's go to the precipitation, total accumulated precip. This kind of shows us rainfall, all right? And where the rainfall is. So you can see, I got to back this all the way up now. So you can see there is rain. That's going to be falling in parts of British Columbia and Alberta, but it's not northern Alberta. And there's still fires in northern Alberta. That's where some of the worst fires are. And this doesn't change at all. Next week, still, the rain is very scattered. And this is the problem. So it's possible we'll get some help, but I don't think every single area where these fires are burning receives help. I think British Columbia is the best off in all of this. But in Alberta and Northwest Territories, you can see it's just a big dry spot there. Let's see if the European is any better for them. And again, we'll use the 12Z European. Let's see if the 12Z European is any better for them. And it's not really. It doesn't take it any further north. But what it does do is you see brings rain into the East Coast for the holiday weekend. All right. So let's go to the surface. I'm going to keep the surface on the European. So you see the differences between the two models as we go through this week. All right. So, again, fair weather, high pressure is building in. You can see the European almost develops some kind of low out here that you got to wonder if it's going to be tropical in nature. All right. You have a high pressure over us Thursday, but then it has another low develop off Florida, and then it kind of just pulls it up the coast ever so slowly. So it's going to Saturday. You're going to have rain chances pretty much all weekend long. If the European was right, your Memorial Day weekend would be, more or less ruined completely if the European was right. All right, because of that. It's got this weird blocking thing going on, and very unusual to see that. The GFS does not have that, I don't think, so we're going to look at the GFS next. And you can see there's that system again. And then here comes this big high-pressure system here from eastern Canada. And that low is it's strong enough to keep that low suppressed and our holiday weekend dry. And we're okay now with the rain. We don't need any more for a little while. So as most of the week dry, so we'll be dry, but at least, we can survive a week without rain. Hopefully it can wait until, like I said, the end of the month into June. We'd see that. And then you can see just disorganized jet stream pattern after that. And you can still see troughing tendencies in the east. So, we've gone through all that, I guess. And again, our temperature anomaly, you can see it's not really going to be a really warm pattern for us. So we'll go look at the temperature anomaly chart. So you see no real bright reds here. We're going to be below normal Thursday, if anything, and then not really any big heat coming until maybe we get toward June. We see a little more heat in the east. But generally, the overall pattern does not favor heat in the east. It's favoring the heat in the west. Again, if we had this pattern in the wintertime, we would have had a lot of nice cold weather. But now we don't have that. This is the wrong time to have this pattern. But anyway, let's go to the northeast view. And we'll look at some more of the local models. The HRRR. This is the HRRR for tomorrow. You can see it's developing some showers well inland. It's like a little bit instability. We're not going to see anything. And then most of the week is dry. Tuesday, we're staying dry. All right. So looking at our dew points here, you'll see, again, got a little humidity, but drier air does eventually build in tomorrow. No, maybe not. The HRRR says no, it's not going to build in tomorrow. You see the winds become north and then easterly tomorrow, so tomorrow will be cooler. And then for Tuesday, we have a similar easterly flow here. And not, like I said, not bone dry air. The HRRR doesn't think we're going to see bone dry air. So looking at your air temperatures tonight, we'll probably drop back into the low 50s maybe, and then tomorrow temperatures will be similar to what they were today, I think. Have those low 70s, and then there'll be more of a sea breeze in the afternoon. Then the temperatures drop more tomorrow night. It's almost like a backdoor cold front comes through. You can see the temperatures much cooler. And then for Tuesday, this is all we have. You can see we're a lot cooler already. Let's go to the GFS now. So this is the GFS, and you see similar, with the temperatures there, and you can see that cool down. And then a little bit cooler on Tuesday, perhaps. Upper 60s to around 70. And then we heat up a little more. You can see this looks like a really strong cold front here Wednesday here. So we're in the mid-70s for Wednesday. And this cold front comes through. And now we're only in the 60s, probably upper 60s for highs on Thursday. And then Friday, you can see we have temperatures generally a little bit below normal, upper 60s to around 70. And then the GFS is right. We'll have a warm Memorial Day weekend. Temperatures, again, rising mid-70s near 80. And maybe even some 80s. We'll have to see if there's a sea breeze or not. So let's go look at the dew points on the GFS. So I'll kind of show you where these fronts are. All right, so you can see the GFS is a little drier for Tuesday. It seems to bring in a little drier air. Wednesday, you can see fairly dry air. So we'll have to see if we can get a line of thunderstorms perhaps Wednesday night, bring us some rain. And then northeast winds, north to northeast winds, much drier air coming Thursday, Friday. And the weekend, the air mass stays fairly dry. It's not until we get into Tuesday we see that tropical moisture come in. And then we're going to see that tropical moisture come in, and that'll bring us some rain chances. And then we're going to be dealing with some humidity the final days of this month, probably. Some rain chances. We'll see more rain chances before this month is over. Let's go to the European now, because we know the European has a different outlook on things, and look at the temperatures on the European, which will reflect the difference of thinking that it has for the Memorial Day weekend. So you can see the Memorial Day weekend European is much cooler, and it has drizzly, rainy conditions that would be with us for much of the weekend if that was the case. Hopefully the European is not, right? Because we don't want that. We really don't want that to happen. It's going to be bad for the economy if the weekend is a washout, and we don't need that. So let's go to the RGM, and I guess we'll look at the skies. And again, this isn't gonna show the smoke. It's only gonna show the cloud cover. All right. So you see tomorrow, there should be plenty of sunshine. Inland, there could be some, cumulus developing perhaps, but I think the east winds generally will keep that away from Long Island. Maybe northern Long Island, they'll have some of those stratocumulus clouds, and you can see some more like marine clouds trying to come in there overnight there with that backdoor front. And then Tuesday, sunshine, maybe some cirrus around, looks like. And again, the smoke, that's the other wild card. The question is, this other front coming through, maybe Wednesday night, could clear out the smoke. Maybe, if this is an air mass from eastern Canada. We can't look at the GFS, or it kind of just hangs the front up a little bit here, and then finally moves it through for Friday. But again, we don't know about the smoke. So that far out, it's really impossible to tell what the smoke is going to do. So we just don't know that far out what's going to happen in regards to that. It's really just way, way too far in advance. And as we get into the holiday weekend, you see the GFS is showing sunshine and has that system suppressed to the south. And hopefully it's a big, strong high, and it'll suppress that system to the south. And European is not right, because European, we don't want that. That would be a mess. Again, I don't want to, it's depressing having a glooming holiday weekend all weekend long. It was bad enough it rained all day yesterday, we're not, send the rain up to Canada where they need it, So I guess we go to the long range now, Climate Prediction Center, 6 to 10 day, and you can see precipitation is near normal in the Pacific Northwest, above normal in the Southwest, below normal in the east, generally speaking, for the 6 to 10 day. Temperatures close to normal or above normal in the northern plains. We move this over to the 8 to 14 day. And again, a similar trend, except the whole northern tier of the country is above normal. So they seem to think we're going to have a warm up, and precipitation is near normal. So that is what the Storm Prediction Center says as far as what we have to come, as far as the next 8 to 14 days. But other than that, we'll be dealing with more smoke again. So we'll have to see where all this smoke goes. Again, this is the RAP model here. There is, actually, if I pull this back, there is that 15Z run goes a little further. So there's a 15Z run, I think that goes, this run goes a lot further. So we'll go and we'll play this loop for you. And then I guess we'll wrap things up here. But you can see there's the smoke heading our way. And again, we're going to have some thick smoke with us tomorrow. We'll see if there's any respite at all. Now, we're looking at Tuesday. It doesn't look like it's going anywhere. So I think we're going to be dealing with this smoke all week long. Hazy skies, very red sunsets, and we may even be able to smell it at the surface, perhaps. Though it's kind of, this model isn't, well, actually, it would show surface smoke. So there is actually near surface smoke. We can look at a loop this and see if this, to see if any of this gets near the surface. Doesn't look like it, but there could be some of it near the surface. You could be some of it near the surface. So, and this is just a model, so there's always variabilities here with this. There's one other thing I wanted to go to earthnollschool.net and point this out as well. So these fires aren't just putting out smoke; they're putting out carbon monoxide as well. So you'll see. Look at all these all the carbon monoxide that's coming from released from these fires. So that's why in Canada you have very bad air quality, and that bad air quality is across much of the country right now. And this is again at the surface. You can see it's just through the roof over here. 1,600 parts per ppb there. It's a very elevated carbon monoxide levels, really high. Places like Edmonton and stuff. I mean, the air, it's toxic to be outside. So this is what is going on as we watch the world burn. Not the world turn, but the world burn. So I guess that wraps up this weather update. Have a good night.